Welcome to Club Shada episode number. Damn, I don't know. Wait, what was the last episode? Once you start getting in those numbers, 159. Welcome to Club Shada episode 159. This is a pre-recorded episode. I'm right now, as you're watching this episode, I'm currently in Istanbul, Turkey, on my way to Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo. And usually I prefer pre-recording so we can continue having our shows without interruption while I'm traveling. And listen, pre-recorded is nice as well. And when I pre-record, I call my guy. He's a Club Shada guy. We started this together from episode 1. This is my favorite guest, actually. But this show is brought to you by shadaware.com, the gods of good fortune. Lots of love for all the new subscribers to the channel. Make yourself at home. Remove your shoes at the door if you don't want to get kicked out. Be respectful, as always, in the comments and in the chat. If you come for Club Shada, or if you're watching music videos, just be respectful. It's not so hard. Anyway, you know how we do. I want to give a special shout out to our stream royalty, who just took the lead for the month of November. Last episode with a super chat of $100. Thank you so much, Robert Ford Jr., for supporting this show, and also thank you to all the sponsors. Without further ado, let me call the guy with the cigar to come join us, and we can have a little chit chat. It's actually one of those chit chat that I would have with him on the telephone, but since I need an episode, that's the guy I call. Make some noise, put some rainbows and some unicorns and some stars and some fire in the chat for Mr. the one and only l'homme blanc à la grosse queue, Boddhi Satva, in the area. I've been trying to not curse on my show, because every time the live finishes, I get a yellow thing from YouTube telling me that this show is restricted to adults because I've been using N-words.
But it's actually really not made for kids anyway, so.
Yeah, but then I think YouTube should have an advertising system for adults, like where all these, like, tell a bunch of company, listen, make ads, and you accept that when people say certain words that are swear and just be themselves in shows, they're not scared when they see a yellow monetization sign, feeling that your video is not gonna be not gonna have that much ads. And it's just like, no, it's okay. You're gonna have the same amount of money from your videos. It's just gonna be that those ads are gonna be for adults. Because right now, everybody wants the green one. And when you have the red one, you fucked. But man, you see?
Can't fail tragically at trying to be how do you call this, PG-13 friendly.
Yeah, exactly. No, last time I was doing the show, I was trying to do the show, and I was really saying to myself, hey, listen, no this, no that. But interestingly, most of the time I appeal the decision, and most of the time they put it back to for everybody. Some subjects they don't like soon as you pronounce the words like COVID, coronavirus, It's over.
Oh yeah, they're not fans of those.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
What is the wife saying?
But there's gonna be a lot of that talk today.
Hey. Uh-oh.
Well, I had my first
You had your first? You had your first?
Decentraland metaverse experience,
Oh.
It was interesting today. I was like, okay, let me see what this shit is about. And honestly, it just feels like one of these other games that everybody's playing where it's like Sims or whatever you want to call it. It's like, it's really, it's like, and you have like a bunch of other people there and just like, so what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, I was like, okay, well, how can I buy land? And it's not fucking explained in any way.
You can buy land on OpenSea actually. You can buy plots of land, but you have to go to OpenSea and get one plot of land. Then you have your coordinates, and then you can go to your land and build a house or something.
This year I didn't know, so okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. I want to see how that shit works. Might as well be amongst the first ones, right?
The land is now minimum $3,000.
Oh, fuck that shit. Yeah, whatever.
Well, let me check. Before I say something, let me see. So, let me see. Let me see. So, Decentraland. Yeah, there he goes. There's 97,000 plots of land. And let me go on Chrome. Let me add you and give me a second. Camera, body. There you go. Huh? Wait a minute. What is this? Damn it. Okay. All right. Perfect. So, oh, damn. I need to buy a new mouse. I'm tired of the Apple mouse. It's so sensitive. It just, yeah. So Decentraland, you see the floor is free. What? Is free eat. So free eat is free by 4,200. Is $12,000.
But it's ridiculous,
The
man.
minimum price to buy. So you see,
this, man?
so you have all these plots in the geography, and you can buy it. So of course the best ones are near the water or
And
something in the
thing
middle
is
of
this,
nowhere.
right? Funny thing is this. It's all fucking virtual and it's all arbitrary, right? So some motherfuckers decided this is it. Nah. Everybody's FOMOing on this shit and they're like,
Bro,
this
is amazing. Waterfront, the waterfront thing, for ETH, so 16,000, and you have a great location. $20,000.
Virtual one? For fuck's sake, man.
I mean,
I thought if it was like maybe $100 or whatever, okay, cool.
bro, look, people are offering until 13,000. If you bought this, let's see the history of the NFT price history. Let me see the price history. All times, no activity. Oh, okay. The item activity. Oh, it's been changed. See, that person got it 3 years ago. Okay, wait a minute. What a véritable Jojo. Ça, c'est quel nom? Wait a minute. So, okay. Look at the price of this one, for example. Item activity. So 2 months ago, that person bought it for 0.92. which was around 2,000, and now it's on sale. It's being sold by somebody 10 hours ago for 3.4. So that's $13,000. And now that person who bought it for 13,000 is selling it for 23,000. So there's actually people buying and selling at those prices because they want to build a house in there. So,
Yeah, I went and saw. I mean, I saw for myself. You see, like, you can mine whatever. I guess. I guess earn money by mining and by
the amount of volume traded right now is $1 million, 264 ETH. That's beautiful. Look, let's see the activity. See, somebody sold a parcel for 17,000 3 minutes ago, and an hour ago 23,000, an hour ago 55,000, 26,000. So these things are selling and people are buying. So listen, if you want to risk, like, look, somebody sold one for 500,000 5 hours ago. Oh, and it's huge. It's a big one. And listen, some companies like McDonald's, banks, they buying land in there so they can put some ads.
I understand that. I understand the concept because you can obviously sell products that can eventually be sent to you physically as well. Like, it's amazing. The ramification of it is interesting, but it's just that it's too expensive. At least it's too expensive for me. I don't have that kind of money to spare for these kind of things, So it's just like, it's cool to see, and it's like, oh well, hopefully some other NFTs may create their own,
To me, what is interesting when I look at it, I just feel, let's say, I take this one that just sold for 32,000, and when I look at the history of it, that's what interests me more. It's like, from when this item was born, how much was it sold, and how long ago. And then you start seeing what is interesting is that those who believed in those items, back in the days, like 2-3 years ago, and they just stayed there. Now they can make a minimum of 12,000, and maybe they invested 100 or 200 back then. And
to my point, my question is who. So Decentraland is one NFT, but
it's a metaverse.
What about Sandbox and
so you have
alien whatever.
The thing is this: if you arrive early in anything, you can actually this is Decentraland, and like. I was there. I've been in there, and what you can do inside of Decentraland that is interesting. If you have a little bit of 3D, or you have your NFTs, you can have them there, or you can sell items. You can sell clothing for people. So this is where it's very interesting. You can do there's things that you can do in there even if you don't own land. And what the best thing is, like, it's really owned by the community. So this is very interesting. Then you have Sandbox, which is it will be a game. It will be a game when the same thing. There will be
kind of like Minecraft, kind of like Minecraft and stuff.
Yeah, it has this Minecraft style, and then inside there, and then same thing. You have partners like Adidas, Snoop Dogg, Tari, and you can buy some land. Let's see. I have to connect my MetaMask, or you can buy directly. Wait, welcome to the Open Metaverse Central Alpha. So it's still in Alpha, so you can still buy something in there, and I don't know how much is the land for the
Sandbox.
Sandbox.
Kind of partners, it's not going to be cheap, man. Adidas, Snoop, the whole.
Depends. This is always the same thing. If you get in early, let me see. if you get in early, you see, prices are still at, oh shit, I was about to say it's only 100, it's 195,000. What? Now see, floor price. Now look, floor price, you can still get, how much is this? 1,000? This is different. They show you what is near. Okay, so what is the, oh, it's in dollar. So the floor price is, $1,800. This is less than the other one, and you can still, But those people, they bought it a year ago, they minted a year ago. Back then, when it was like, those things. If you early and you get it at 100, 200, and then you wait, when the crave begins, once everything is sold, booyaka. So there's a lot of. And then they're gonna be the Facebook one, but if you explore the virtual worlds of OpenSea, you realize that there's a lot of them. A1 Universe, Arconia Digital Land, like Dubai 2. So they're doing Dubai. They're doing
Burj Khalifa.
The Burj Khalifa, and you can buy apartments, virtual apartments. And see, here is, it's even less. It's like 800. There's a lot. I mean, and then there's a lot of games as well, where you can buy also. You can also buy the people that you're gonna use in there, and et cetera, et cetera. So places in the Antarctic. Yeah, it's a brand new world, bro. It's something that, all you can do is. I hate this about WhatsApp. When somebody calls you, you make some noise and you cannot turn it off. Yeah, listen. So how did you like being in there? For you, it was just nothing new, or?
The thing is that I've always found these games to be, I mean, it can be addictive if you're not, but I was never really attracted to these games. They're not polished enough. The games that are like, maybe Sims is, you have the feeling that you're really dealing with like real personas, like, you have different looks, different, it feels different, I would say. If some companies, the people developing Sims, and I mean, that would be something that I would be interested to invest in, because it's more tangible for me. But these other things is too, 3D like, and it's cubic, and just doesn't, But yeah, anyway, I understand the concept of it, and I understand the idea of owning virtual assets on such platforms, and I think that it's cool because it presents, whatever it is that you want to display in a virtual form, in a virtual world, with virtual currencies and virtual people from all over the world, at literally, the reach of your finger, I would say, or your mouth, or whatever you want to call it. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
To me, what is interesting is there's so many people who, and maybe it's there's a part of it that has nothing new, right? But there's also a part of it that is part of the times that we live in. So many people that don't feel themselves inside of their bodies, and they feel like they have another identity. They feel like, and even beyond just feeling like you don't belong to your your male or female body. People are female trapped in male bodies, male trapped in female bodies, non-binaries, etc., and people feel like, I feel like I'm a tree, I feel like I'm a fluffy, I feel like I'm a cat, I'm a cloud, I'm a prince. And a lot of it is, I cannot judge how people feel inside. So a lot of people, that's really how they feel. Like, who am I to judge it? And a lot of other people, it's narcissism. A lot of people is just trying to fit in. But the metaverse can also be an answer to a lot of these people. If you really feel that you're a manga princess and that this is really like from growing up watching Ranma and etc., and that this is really what you like you love to cosplay, and you would have loved to be one of these, maybe in the metaverse you can start becoming what you feel you are and live in a reality where you are among people who feel the same way as you, and you feel accepted when you are in there. Of course, a lot of implication come with that. A lot of problems arise where some people might starting to prefer themselves in the metaverse than the real self, which is the movie with Bruce Willis, Surrogates. In Surrogates, the whole world is just inside of their virtual coffins, and they're just connected and they don't come out, because in the virtual world everybody's polished. No, in Surrogates, I think they have robots that are walking around with them, and inside of their thing, and some people, you can buy a body, you're a woman, and like, yeah, you can be a woman, and then you're a black woman in the metaverse, and in the real world you a fat white guy, or you can play a dog, or you can play whatever, and it might create some new psychological problems, but it's an answer to a lot of those people who don't feel.
Like, for example, me, I don't want to be anyone else but myself, and obviously on this platform. So for example, I was looking at the creation of the avatar, and I didn't recognize myself in the avatar. Like, it's all made to look nothing like you. So for example, if you're bald-headed and you have a beard, there's no way you can actually find a bald-headed, sort of
in that one, in that platform
choice in that platform, for example, which is like, okay, well, all right, cool. And then it's just and you see, the other thing is that I'm not like, I'm geeky, but I've never been into cleanse, first and foremost. So for me, this really feels very much like it's too clinic. It's like, if you, I stayed in that, on that platform on Decentraland for about 35 minutes to understand how it worked. About 40 minutes actually.
So you were like walking around and stuff?
I was walking around, I was going into houses and shit, I was looking at things, and I was just like, first time I was like, okay, well, I would have done it. I felt very limited, because I'm like, okay, if this is supposed to be like the end all be all, and like, oh my God, you can be everything you want to be, I just didn't feel like it that at all. Whereas, for example, if I look at Sims, you can literally be exactly that. Or there was another game back then.
Even nowadays, what people don't understand is the metaverse is nothing new.
No, it's not.
What's the name of this one? There's a lot of people, they get live for hours on GTA 5.
There was another app, I remember.
World of Warcraft.
I was playing an app like that.
There was also a place where you're in a lobby. You're in a lobby, and then everybody's just there chatting. So this is nothing new. But what you said about the limitations, if we are in the infancy of it, and the limitations are limited by the technology itself. Imagine, for example, when you see the leap forward that Apple did with the M1s, how it can, and that what Nvidia is doing with their own metaverse as well. And Facebook is coming also with their metaverse, where you're gonna have ads everywhere. Like you're gonna look. It's
what Facebook is about to do, however, is very fucking scary, man. I mean, the shit they want to bring church to the metaverse, like they're literally now,
but
teaming up with like church and pastors and trying to figure out how, like, what the fuck.
But when you think about it,
okay,
during the pandemic, this is perfect. You see what I mean? Sorry, I'm ordering my McDonald's as I'm speaking, because that's all I can order at this time.
Man, I'm actually feeling like eating as well.
Oh.
And where I live, there's no McDonald's at this time.
Hey, you see? So, yes, like if you think about the future in 20, 30 years, if this continues going, right? And now, instead of having, Facebook's Oculus, what they're doing, the Oculus Quest, right? For now, their VR headset, this is where they are in terms of technology, right? And you can use that to connect to not only the Facebook metaverse, the future Facebook metaverse, or Meta and how they call themselves, but also to others who agree to this technology or etc. It costs $300 now. This used to cost way more than that. Of course, this is like the grand public one, and then you have up to 8,000, I think, but the more technology, just like if you think of 15 years or 13 years, 15 of iPhones, if you remember how the first iPhone was to how it is right now, you say to yourself, imagine when this is not this huge thing on your face, but something that looks more like my glasses with very thin batteries here and something. That's when, or just something that you plug here. Like if you go far in the future, then all these idea that it doesn't look real, etc., just becomes an idea of what we would say today when we remember when we were playing with stuff like the first iPhones. You could not even have 3G. The photos were horrible, and you didn't have video. But it was a revolution.
But back then you had nothing to reference it with, so it was good enough. Now, of course, you can say that, but back then, the magic of taking pictures, okay, they were horrible, but you were like, fuck, I can take pictures with my phone.
But that's what I'm saying. For a lot of people who feel like I would love to be an anime character, being able to go to an anime metaverse and be Son Goku for 10 hours, even if the quality is horrible, laggy, etc. It's amazing for them.
But in Decentraland, for that case, Decentraland doesn't offer you that. You can just be this random ass character, which makes no damn sense.
Yeah.
And you can't really be, I mean, you can still be who you want to be. Like if you want to be a woman, you want to be a man, but you're still limited. For example, if you want to be a tree, you can't be a tree. Right? So to the point you were saying where people who are like non-binary, non-whatever, like you can't
but that's
that experience. Or maybe you have to go to other.
Yeah, because right now you're talking about your experience in one metaverse, one place. So the question is, does the metaverse become... So I saw something very interesting about... I was hearing a podcast. It was very interesting what they were saying about the metaverse. The internet what made the internet amazing and what it is today and how it is ubiquitous to us was that the internet was not built by big companies. It was built actually by non-profit. So when I'm talking about the internet, I'm talking about TCP IP, email, packets, HTTP, HTTPS. The technology, the underlying technology were built and they were on the public domain. And back then there was no giant company that were trying to profit from it. So other than the Chinese internet, that is a different internet than our internet, for their own reasons, the whole world and even a lot of sites can go beyond the whole wide world. You just type an address, you type a URL, and you get to that site. And that was what that one made the internet and the revolution of the internet possible. The Web3, as they call it, and the metaverse, the real problem right now, the real challenge that they're facing for me is the fact that a lot of these companies and a lot of these people are trying to be the first to profit from the said revolution. And if you are in the Facebook metaverse and you can enter with your Instagram or your Facebook account or your WhatsApp, does it let you enter also or are you connected to the Apple one? Are you connected to the Microsoft one? Are you connected to the Nvidia one? Are you connected when you are in Decentraland? Can you use all your assets to go on a Sandbox? And that's where my problem is. The internet was really a place for everybody. This is siloing a lot of small places for, listen, there's 100,000 people here, a million there. Like it's like all these websites. It's like a lot of people, what they complain when they talk about iMessage with Apple, they say that iMessage is only for people with iPhones. And this is why a lot of people like me will use WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is available everywhere. And Apple is treating iMessage like BlackBerry was treating the BBM as a competitive advantage. But there comes a point where something comes up, and at a point everybody prefers using WhatsApp, but you have options. You can use iMessage.
But it's also WhatsApp. An interface situation too, man. I mean, you can't compare the Android interface with the iOS. It's absolutely it doesn't.
Yes, but
nothing.
No, because look, these whole 10 years they've been copying each other. And
yeah, but I mean, look, imagine iMessage on fucking Android. Like it would be so. Yeah. It would be. I mean, maybe
it's just a messaging system. What is the difference? Like you talk to a million people who use WhatsApp on Android, and it doesn't change anything.
Well, the look is different.
The look is different, but who cares about the look? We care about being able to talk to each other. It means I
feel like iPhone is into preserving their
the walled garden. I understand that, and the security of the users, etc. But a lot of people that have iPhones. My mom has a Galaxy.
Before you couldn't delete pictures on iMessage. Now
can you imagine?
Before you were like, oh my god.
I need to unsend. Can you imagine, for example, my mom talks to me on her Galaxy S21. My son has a S20. I have an iPhone. My wife has an iPhone. If we don't have WhatsApp, it's SMS. That's it. But then when you look, you can use WhatsApp when you want to talk to everybody, but you can also use Messenger, or you can use Google, whatever chat they have this year. You can use Viber. You can DM from Instagram. You can
Viber. Oh my god.
Those days, the Viber days. That saved me when I was with the ex. And listen, vertige en amour. So when you think about it, all these different services are still proprietary and they belong all to big corporations. Like MSN back in the days, like if you were on IOL, you could not talk with people that were on MSN Messenger. But all this was built on top of the internet, which was accessible to everybody.
I really liked AIM back then. AIM was really, really dope because the whole platform, the whole interface, the way you could share files, there was something very cool about it, and you felt like you're part of a very, like it was really cool to be on AIM. Oh, you got AIM? Yeah. And then you would send your
I was on ICQ at that time.
ICQ, I didn't.
No, ICQ is before all that. It was like one of the ancestors of chats. It was like 96.
I was not
96.
Yet. Yeah, we didn't have access to that in Central Africa, probably. Yeah.
And so you see, to me, the hurdle that I see today is that the internet as a thing was built, and it became everything to connect. Like it just became like, I remember a world without internet like 20 years ago. I remember like when in France we still had the Minitel, and France was like, no, here is the Minitel, fuck internet. And at a point they were like, the web, it's the web. When and then Web 2.0, but on Web 3.0 that they are trying to build,
4.0,
Apple, no, free, the Web 3. Apple is.
They're talking about Web 4 already.
No, the metaverse is Web 3. On the NFT space, etc., you have Apple is a huge company. Meta, Facebook is a huge company. Google is a huge company. Microsoft is a huge company. And those companies, they want to be not only part of the place, but they also want to control it, and they want to put their walls. Like if you are on the Facebook metaverse, I'm super sure that you're not going to be able to just walk around with your Facebook avatar to Decentraland. Or they will tell Decentraland, you can come, but it has to be inside of hours, because they are trying to make money, and they will want to put their ads, and they will want to put their rules. And a lot of the people who build,
will they share the revenues with the creators? That's the question.
Of course not. It's Facebook. So they will want to do a thing when they're explaining to you, like I was watching their presentation of their metaverse, and I was like, yeah, okay, like, oh yeah, you're gonna be able to be with your avatar they want to replace Zoom in meetings with everybody and I was like, this, to me, all these people who built the Web 2.0, the Web 1.0, they always like show you a version of reality that doesn't count the fact that humans are evil, and humans are gonna do shit. Human are gonna whatever you do, human are gonna bring porn in. They're gonna bring racism. They're gonna dispute each other. They're gonna try to harm each other. They all want to create these places where everybody's free. There's no this. There's no tax. There's no blah blah blah. There's no boundaries. And freedom of speech for everyone. And then when the Nazis arrive, they're like, well, no, not you. What you mean, not me? I thought it was free for everyone. And
but not you.
Yeah, and so all these people, whatever they're building, it feels like it doesn't feel, genuine. Like it feels like they're all repeating the same mistake as Twitter back then. The only difference is that now Twitter is a multi-billion company. All these companies are multi-billion companies. When they built Twitter, I remember how naive they all were. We all gonna be able to talk and listen. A tweet was like, hey, I'm drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee. And then now it's
words or 120 words.
150. It's 140. It was like the size of a SMS. I remember you had to tweet by SMS. But I remember my first tweet. My first tweet was, I'm in Mozambique, boarding a plane to Pemba. I think I was in Pemba going somewhere or going to Pemba. I don't remember. And it was in 2007.
Is there a way you can retrieve this tweet?
Yeah, I found it. I found it. My first tweet.
Shit.
I should make it an NFT.
You love to gaslight people on Twitter, you and your comments.
No, that's not true.
It's true. You love to go and tickle people when you it's just that's the thing with you, man. It's like fuck, man. You know, I was just saying this, and it's like, well, here you go.
Bro, like, what did I do? The thing is,
sometimes when you already know, man, when you're too logical, people don't like that shit.
listen, this is me. I'm a guy. I like to say how I feel, and when I see things that are not logic, I point them. Yeah, and people hate that.
Your logic doesn't apply to mine. Fuck off. Okay.
You know, the thing about the internet is that most people, they view the internet as a place where if you don't have the same opinions as them, you are either something phobic or something ist or a bastard, or they insult you. Where we are billions of people with billions of opinions. You and I don't have the same opinions on a lot of things, and we talk every day. And a lot of times, yeah, we debate. I give you my opinion, you give me yours, and I'm not trying to force you my opinion, and you're not trying to force me yours. We just talk about it and we build. And sometimes, like, I convince you of something, and some other times I don't, and vice versa. And sometimes I tell you something and you add something, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. It's conversation. But the problem is the fact that everybody is anonymous. The things that people say, like if we were all in an agora, you know.
If you were like one of those pirate
Le
guys,
mbata, la
an
déchirure.
app where like, you create a AI thing going on where anybody who tweets shit, you actually have the IP address, their location, everything. My God, that would be so scary. And you shop out the door. So what the fuck were you saying?
So there's an episode of Ghost in the Shell, Ghost in the Shell 2045 on Netflix, where there's a young kid, he's like 14, and he developed a program where, so at that time, the metaverse is real. Like most people, they live in virtual reality and they live the real life, but at the same time, everybody's connected. The cyber brain of everybody is connected also to the internet at the same time as, and they can view the things of the internet at the same time as they are in the real life. And the police are inquiring of somebody who just became crazy in the airport and were alone, acting like if somebody was following him when there was nobody. And when they look at his last memories before he died, they realize that he was followed by thousands of people. He was viewing thousands of people that were not there. And it's actually a young hacker who started hacking people. And whenever you do something bad, or if you're a pedophile or you're a gangster or something, this kid will find you and then he will ask the internet, should this guy die? And if they say yes, then everybody does it's like a DDoS attack. When you want to bring down a website, you ask like millions of requests to the website and the website goes down. It's the same thing, but they do it on people's brains. Since everybody's connected to the internet, so you have millions of people arriving, and you see a bunch of people arriving, and they come and they beat you, and you feel like they beat you when they're not even here, and you actually die of a heart attack or fear of something. And it's a very interesting episode because it goes with what people don't think about when they think about all these things. You know, the people who built the Web3, the MetaMask, the Metaverse, all these places, they forget something. Hackers, scammers. Look, I receive emails all the time of, yeah, this is the new coin, da 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 da, da 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 da. You click
Instagram,
there and you
man,
lose all your money.
They're spamming you so much. It's not even funny, man.
And look, did you see the new thing that happened? There was this coin that people discovered or whatever. There was this new coin. They create a hype on Twitter, and the coin went up in like 24 hours. Soon as people bought around like 900 millions of those coins because everybody was talking about it and it was going up. Then the creators just took all the money and disappeared. And the price of the coin just did, it went down back to 0.000000 because the main account, the main wallet, which was like, there was 5 wallets that had 20%. It was the wallets of the developers, and the rest of the 20% was everybody that was buying in the coin. So it made the price go up. Once they knew that they all had around 9 million worth of, or 100 millions worth of the coins, they just sold all their coins. And we call this in crypto a rug pull. And listen, the price just went down in a minute because the 4 main account just got out rich, and everybody else, they lost their money. They were like, oh, this is the next touch, this is the next Shiba Inu. Gone. Why? Because this is what happens when
it's not monitored by the SEC.
At a point, this is what happens. That's why at a point, regulators be like, yo, this place is going crazy. Or like, look at NFTs. When I start talking about NFTs last year or in the beginning of this year, it was really still something that was starting. And now every day you receive an email or Instagram or DM about this new project of whatever, and people, they come talk to you, reply to you, yo, hey, buy my thing, because everybody is trying to make it. And scammers, and there's a lot of money in the space, and the scammers, they want that money. Now imagine when everybody's in the metaverse and the crooks are there as well.
With them chilling,
looking like a hot girl. It's gonna be like, hey,
some guys literally will be having
listen, people will fall in love in the metaverse.
I don't want to talk to you. I remember there was this, I can't remember this game. What was the name of this game, man? And it was kind of like avatars, right? And I had my avatar. What was the name of that game, man?
I was never in those things.
I was seeing people like trying to make out virtually. It was
some people got married. Some people got married virtually, and then they met each other to get married in the real world, and they realized that they were 2 heterosexual men. They were like, wait a minute, this is you? Yeah, this is me. This is me, Cindy. That's the problem with like, you know. So there's an episode actually of Black Mirror talking about the metaverse, where it's 2 black guys and they are best friends actually. But one in the game is a very, very sexy Japanese girl, and the other one is a guy. And in their metaverse, they can also feel the feelings, and they can feel the touch and like the genitals and etc. because it's like next level. So they are best friends, and the guy is married and his best friend is his best friend. But in the metaverse, they are lovers, and they're muguing back
together.
And the guys who listen, the guy he's like some known actors. So in the beginning, I don't remember how the story ends, but in the beginning, you know, they just have sex in there, and then it's so good that then the guy just logs off, and then they log in again, and they're talking, and then so in the beginning they have sex in the metaverse. But then when they are back in the real world, it's awkward.
Oh,
they're back to being me and you. And then at a point, I think one tries to kiss the other and the other punch him. It's like, no, hey, yo, I'm not gay. And then I think they stop talking to each other, and I don't remember how it ends. I think they go back to fucking only in the metaverse and being friends in real life. I was like, yo. But
I only love you in the metaverse.
Hey, just remember, one day I received a message, you know. I think I only love you on WhatsApp. You were good. But my God.
No, man, no, let's be honest. Some people do some dumb shit, man. You know, it's not you, it's me.
What is? Wait. Let me try to find this episode. Wait. Oh my God. Cowboy Bebop. I have to see that. I have to download all of this for the plane tomorrow. So, what was the name of this show? Black Mirror. I think it was, this one. Oh shit. It was this episode. How do I go? There you go. So this was the episode. Striking Vipers. And it's with these guys. Look, you're gonna recognize the actors. Wait. So this is his wife. So it's this guy.
Okay, yeah, this guy.
You know,
he's also in Ghost in the Shell as well.
Yeah. This is them, and this one plays in. This one plays in. Forgot the name. And
so what
in the real world, you know, he has his wife and you know they've been friends forever, and then so wait, and then. They have now the virtual reality now. So look, the guy is with his wife, right? But in the virtual reality, they put just two things in their ears. Wait, see, they put these things here in their temple, and then he turns this guy into this. And in the beginning, they are just.
Look at him. He's like,
So in the beginning, they are just doing kung fu, and this is them. They're just fighting like crazy. But they end up. So at the end of the game, you know, he leaves the game, right? But at a point, this is what happens. I think I don't want to get copyright problems, but at a point, he leaves the game. He's with his wife, etc., etc. And then when they go back to fight, you know, they end up muguing sauvagement. And they're both Asians. They're both Asians in the game. And then when they wake up, they're like, what the hell? And the guy has a kid, a wife. Both of them are married.
But now they keep having sex in the virtual world. Lord have mercy. Man.
Wait, Pao.
That's how you do it, honestly. Like, stop messing about. Yeah, why would you judge if that's how we want to live our lives? We just want to have this intimate relationship in the metaverse, in the virtual world. But in reality, we are friends.
So
could work too, I guess.
But these are the things that can happen in this Trocas, bro? Ah, mano. Trocas? Yeah. Ah, sim, subiste. Vamos. Olha, papi. Estavas a dormir?
Não,
O que foi?
tô com frio.
Estás com frio? Oh. Olha tio Boddhi. Deixa, meu amor. Vais fazer a mala de papi? Ok. Elle est fatiguée. Yeah, so it's very interesting when you think about it. But look, since we're about to go on another quarantine, the world is going crazy. This is accelerating this whole metaverse thing.
It is very much.
And yeah, you know.
And I think there's a big nonsense of the politicians and I really now, as much as I was, very skeptical about a lot of things coming from, those who do question, the whole agenda of this vaccination, this and that and the other. I'm now starting to question what is the true, when does it stop? Because clearly it's not going to stop. So when are they understanding that? For example, now supposedly in Portugal, you cannot enter a place or a club, for example, if you don't have an actual PCR test, even though you are vaccinated. But by doing that, you are going to be not only limited. So that's your excuse to tell people, well, we did not say you cannot go to clubs. You just have to show a PCR test.
So you have to do a PCR on top of your vaccination.
On top of your vaccination.
That's the new rules.
And then you're going to tell and going to justify to people, well, but this is the best we found. So you're going to tell us, so okay, we got to do a PCR test. What about those fast tests that people do before they enter a restaurant? Well, if they were not good, why did you make people do them back then? It's like,
the thing is this.
It makes no fucking sense, man. It's just a fucking business at the end of the day. That's I'm coming down to. I'm like,
my opinion about that is that everything can be true at the same time. What I don't like about a lot of people is the absolutism. Yeah. I really believe that the problem of a lot of politicians is that they want to show that they are in control of something that is too early to have answers. But they want to show that they know what they're doing. And the problem is that if they say, we don't know what we're doing, then the opposition says, look at these people. You elected people, they don't know what they're doing. So they cannot say, we don't know what we're doing. So they ask the doctors, do we know what we're doing? The doctors say, listen, it's science. It's tâtonnement, we try, we error, we try, we error. This is how science always works. So we cannot tell you exactly where we'll be in 3 years or 2 years, in 6 months. Like, it doesn't work like this.
People need an answer, so we have to tell them something.
And people need an answer. And the media wants to do headlines because they need clicks to sell. And the people who don't, and everybody is siloed in all these different communities. Those who want to believe go to that place. Those who don't want to believe go to that place. And everybody's fighting. And you go to the scientists and you say, listen, how long can you find a vaccine? Listen, we can have a vaccine in so that's 2020. When can you have a vaccine? December 2020, we can have a candidate. Okay, let's go. Once the vaccine is there, they ask them, how long will this vaccine work? And they reply to them, we don't know. But that's all we have. We cannot know until people take it and we see how long it lasts, because this is how it works. And then those people, they come and they say, we have a vaccine, let's go. And they start going on this whole vaccination thing without knowing where it's going to take us. Now that we know that the vaccines last around 6, 7, 8 months, and people are still working on it, agendas start going here and there. Not only the people who make the vaccine make a lot of money, but at the same time, they're trying to save the world. Not only the people who do the PCR test, they make a ton of money. Listen, I went to do my test this morning, cost me 60. Listen, if they do 1,000 per day, they make 2 million per month. Who wants to stop this business? And even if it doesn't mean that it's a conspiracy and it was made to arrive there, it just means that this is what humans do. They find ways to use people, fears, and etc. to push agendas and to make money. So what you have to do is stay vigilant and try to be in the middle between not falling into believing all the conspiracies and at the same time not following like a blind, like a horse, and finding the way in the middle where you can say no, because a lot of people forget, and the governments themselves tend to forget, that we are the government. We the people, they work for us. They get paid by our taxes. They get elected by us. So they have to do what we the people want. But at the point, once, because everybody forgot that. But when those people, they do something bad, then you go and you vote for somebody else that has a better project for you. And when that person is in power for 4 years, 2 years, whatever is their mandate, they will take decisions and they will lead the people. And then you tell them yes or no. But at the same time, a lot of people are so lazy. The journalists are lazy. And why are the journalists lazy? Because the people who read the press or the websites are lazy themselves. People only read a headline. They don't care about the rest. So if you say, yo, new variant discovered in South Africa, everybody goes with the South African variant and people start closing their borders, when actually we don't know where it came from. Maybe it originated in England, and that person who was in England traveled to France, contracted it, and then went to Holland, and then arrived in South Africa where his symptoms started. And because South Africa is very good at, they have the oldest facilities that they build for AIDS, they're very good at sequencing and knowing the thing. They say, yo, there's a new trend. So the South Africans are fast at discovering the variants because they have a big pharmaceutical thing. But people want to do headlines. And when the headlines start, the people start asking the governments, so what are you going to do? You're going to let this thing arrive here after everything after everything that happened? We got vaccinated and now you're going to... And everybody start closing it, and because people are scared. And the people who govern themselves, they're like, oh my God, let's take some measures.
Good.
Wait a second. Of course, listen to this. Let me answer to McDonald's. Say something while I'm waiting.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, if we're really analyzing this whole thing, I don't pretend to know, and obviously I don't know nothing, but all I know is that this is freaking fishy. And much as, yes, nobody can deny the fact that there's people dying, etc., 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 but I cannot impeach, but oh snap! What have I done here? I cannot impeach, but believe that there is a. Sorry about the noise. I cannot impeach, but believe that there is a very There's a very look at this guy showing off his new sweater.
I'm waiting for Uber to arrive at the door.
There's just
There it is.
there's a very messed up way these politicians are handling this whole situation. And guys like us from the nightlife, we've been victim of that. Nightlife, concerts, theater, etc. So they're saying they're not going to close, but then they're like, well, for example, in Portugal, they say, well, now you have to present a PCR test, even though you've been vaccinated. Okay, all right, cool. Then they're like, well, but oh, by the way, most likely we're going to have to reduce again the capacities of your venues by 50%. So you can only host 50% of what you could normally host. Okay, all right. Then, by the way, most likely you will have to stay home, being reconfined again. But don't worry, it's not going to last too long. Oh, okay, all right. Then January, they said, oh, but by the way, here in Portugal at least, very likely we are indeed going to be closing clubs and any public venues for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks only? Wow. So you see, I don't know if you, and then people will be like, oh my God, but you're not saying this is just preventive. Fuck all that prevention. What happened from the moment, we knew we had to take a second dose, people had to take a second dose of vaccine or whatever, from the first dose to the second dose, all right? I understand things change, there's a lot of people that still didn't get vaccinated. I know a lot of people who are still not vaccinated who are doing just fine, right? And they're not just young. We're talking about even elderly folks who refuse to take the vaccine. It's their right, it's their choice, it's their bodies. Us, we had to take the vaccine because of work, because of different reasons. Some people were scared. So I get it, no problem. I'm fine. I'm not regretting taking the vaccine. It's all good. But then it's like, okay, cool. And we understand things evolve, but y'all know and understand that there is not only fucking COVID in this world, right? There's regular flu, there's other sorts of respiratory disease, all the coronaviruses, because people
AIDS.
forget that the flu is a fucking coronavirus. But anyway, it's like, this is the part that's like, I'm sorry, man, but I'm not into the complotism and all that, all these theories, but I have to say that some of it does indeed raise questions as to what is the deeper intent here, man. It's like, are you trying to see how docile the people are? Because clearly, I think it's working well. People are very docile. Majority of people are very happy. It's like, oh, okay, I don't know if you notice, even the commercials now, in Portugal at least, I was looking the other day on the TV I was watching, and they're saying, oh, for those days you're going to be stuck at home, Glovo or whatever company that's doing this delivery is giving you free delivery at home. Are you fucking serious? So you see this, here you go. So this is a whole, and that's where it's like, man, I understand as a company you got to adapt, right? So it's like, all right, cool. We see it coming. But it all serves eventually something greater, which is like, well, if we can monitor the amount of people that comes out in the streets and, sort of like pretty much make them do things that, they pretend they don't want to do, but because of what we have put in place, the mechanisms we've put in place, they're fearful enough to be willing to comply. I don't know if you've seen, I forgot the name of this doctor. Actually, it was a technique where he was saying, I can't remember. Okay, we were speaking about this where the guy made there was this machine that allowed to raise the electricity. Well, it was a fake thing actually, but he was made to believe. I think one of the patient was made to believe that he was receiving electricity. I can't remember. Anyway, because this person was told by an actual doctor, keep raising the intensity, that person lost any sense of common sense. And technically, the higher they would go, they would put the other person, if there was electricity at the end, at the risk of killing that person. But because the order was given by a doctor, by somebody who knows, they kept on raising the intensity. And it's almost like, as humans, we are individually, I guess, we're intelligent to some extent, but then collectively, we're the dumbest fucking species ever, man. It's like, I don't know if you've noticed, for example, in when you're driving and you're coming to a red light, you'll see, like, there's 3 lines, right? There's 3 lanes. Most of the time, you'll find at least 15 cars between one another on 1 or 2 lanes. The other is free. Why don't you guys just go to the third one? No. Oh, better yet, the people that are behind you, 2 cars behind you, pass everyone to stop literally 50 seconds later at the red light. What did you win? No, I have the feeling that I took control over the situation. So, we ain't got no control over nothing. And the funny thing is that when this whole COVID hit us, last year, I was talking to some friends of mine from the States. We're actually having this conversation together with Kaysha, together with them this weekend. And in America, for example, like when you were jobless, you were really jobless. There's no social security in place. There's nothing that allows you to, have a little something to maybe see things coming. Nah, you had no job. There was no money. And even though here there is some sort of social security, I did not benefit from any of the support that artists were supposed to benefit from, until I think.
But are you registered anywhere?
I am. But they started sending me, I think 100. No, 100 euros. But I had to pay, every time I had to pay 25 euros. And then they would send me 110, 120 euros, starting in February or March. What am I supposed to do with that money? Am I supposed to pay rent? Am I supposed to pay for food? I mean, when it's like, imagine now people with families, yo, man, it's crazy. And then you hear stories of people, for example, in Holland, where governments do take their art world more seriously. Like, there was literally artists living the life, going on vacation. I know some very, very personally that did that. They were getting 1,500 euros a month. That's a fucking salary, dude. That's like, plus the extra thing that they were doing.
I have a friend. I have a friend. She's a singer, but she's also a hair stylist. She's a hostess. She's hair. How you say?
Hair stylist.
No. Flights. She's a flight attendant. And she got paid for 6 months. Full salary to stay at home. We don't get this luxury. If your only source of revenue is performing, doing gigs.
They are. Because we got vaccinated, we complied with their request. Oh, you need to be there? You need to do that. Okay, we're doing it. Now what?
The problem is,
the strain, the new strain is more powerful than, what was the name of that first one we had anyway? Delta or variant, whatever. Yeah, I'm fucking confused. It's like,
but the thing is this, like, if there's a new variant and it's more dangerous, and you're a government, what are you supposed to do? Because if you don't do nothing, right? If you put yourself in the mind of a leader, if you don't do nothing, the media will be the first to say, yeah, and look at them. They left everything open. Yeah, all these people came from all these places and they brought the virus.
You know that for a fact. That it serves
you and me.
Sales.
You and me, we know.
Yeah.
And the people who govern, they know. But they also know that 99.9% of the people who are on the internet, are on Twitter, are receiving their news only from WhatsApp, are credulous as fuck, and they believe all the headlines. So how you do,
Nice.
you know, as a somebody who govern, like, even if you're trying to make it as, and look, the Americans, they print $2 trillion during the pandemic, during the last 2 years. Their currency is about to inflate like crazy. Price of food and meat is skyrocketing right now in the US because of all that.
There is shelves
And-
without food even in certain areas.
Exactly.
Like in Georgia, for
And this
example, there's like a lot of cities, smaller towns. They don't even have proper
Yeah.
vegetables or anything like that.
And
That's
this
how
is
crazy the shit is.
and this is the result of giving free money to everybody. Because your money is still indexed on in comparison to all the other monies. That's the rule of the monetary system. So, and you cannot just print money like that and think that nothing's gonna happen. And they just did it. They didn't care because we're the US, whatever. But now people are starting to feel the result of that. And a lot of people are putting their money in cryptocurrency to run away from the inflation, etc., etc. What if these new strand, this new variant, the transformer, Omicron, is more? What if it's more dangerous? What if it's just more? Let's say it's not more dangerous. Let's say it's just more resistant to vaccines and everything we were doing right now. And you need to listen.
But
guys
okay,
that-
come on.
the-
Let's think.
Wait.
Sorry,
Wait.
cut you. But if malaria, which is a disease that has existed for years, decades, it took decades for that disease. It's not to evolve for the mosquitoes to become more and more resistant. You're gonna tell me that this variant, and okay, and the virus maybe okay, it needs more living bodies, etc., for it to procreate itself and I guess mutate itself. Cool, I understand that, man. If that is the case, and God knows you and I, we have been in places where there was probably a serious bath.
I had
of
it 3
COVID.
times. Oh shit.
So you're gonna and you're gonna tell me that, oh, had it not been for this vaccine, probably we wouldn't be here or whatever. We don't know. Anyway, fact is, okay, cool. I am not talking about just us, and I'm being considerate of other people. Of course, I understand not everybody is lucky to be able to have good health and sustain the impact of the disease. But the bottom line is closing people in their houses, and it's been proven that people who have been trapped in their home with their windows closed because they were scared that COVID would actually fly into their houses ended up being more sick and more vulnerable to every other disease that do exist still in this world. And it's like, man, the medias, the politics, they are fucking things up badly with so much nonsense.
But because they're all crazy. They're all crazy, and everybody is. Listen, I was listening to a debate, a French show. I was listening to a podcast while I was taking my bath, and I was listening to the debate about vaccinated people, not vaccinated people. Should we help them? When somebody's not vaccinated, they don't want to be vaccinated. Well, in this case, we will let you die too. Like, and I was listening to these people, and I was like, wait a minute, like, even if you're not vaccinated, you're paying your taxes, so you're paying for the hospital, so you should be taken care of by the system that you're paying yourself. right? But the people are getting so crazy in their the lack of arguments from both sides that the people who don't want to get vaccinated come up with all the reasons of the world, even from the real ones, which is of fear, not trusting, etc., etc., to the craziest one, which is alien and DNA, whatever. And then the ones who are for vaccination also come up with all the craziest argument from, you have to trust science, you have to this, and the government, they know what they want, to all the craziness of, if you're not vaccinated, this is the reason why there's more strength, this is and they were all speaking on top of each other and giving each other arguments that don't make more sense 2 years after than in 2019, where they were having those heated arguments, and they still continue to have those debates, and they still continue to instill anxiety in people. And but look, I'm going back to what I was saying. If you're a government and you realize that most of the people that you are governing are very, very malleable and very influenceable by social media, and misinformation is just rampant, and it's so easy now that everybody can talk. We've been talking about the metaverse, we've been talking about all these things. Anybody can start talking about anything, and soon as you say the right thing to the right subset of people, they just put you in the totem, and now you're their god. And now they want you to lead them into, tell them. And then all of a sudden you go from your small 1,000 followers to 500,000 followers who are like, yes, go ahead, king, tell them. And then you start saying all the craziest thing because he makes them happy. But you don't know. And if you're a government, those people are as powerful as the news media, which it's been proven that the news media sometimes is a propaganda machine, but it doesn't mean that it is all the time. It's been proven that a lot of things but it doesn't mean that it's all the time. But the problem to me now is that everybody is starting to act like everything that is done is always a lie, it's always a plot, it's always a thing, when my position is we don't know. And I believe that they don't know what they're doing either. They just do what they try, like, and from country to country.
I don't think they don't know. They don't know everything, but they do know quite a lot. And we all know how it works in these levels, man. They're not gonna disclose information that may affect the world in a certain way. So there's a lot of things that they're not telling, they're not saying for whichever reason. Like, for example, they knew all the way. They knew that this shit was not gonna work, but they were like, well, if we continue keeping people locked in, we're gonna end up having serious fucking troubles on our hands. So now let's give them a little break. Y'all little motherfuckers go out, have your little fun, and come right back in, because we're not done with you. So this is the thing, right? Isn't it?
I don't believe it.
And that's where my main problem here is this, right? Okay, cool. Not only it's not enough for you to take a vaccine, which you don't fucking know if it's gonna work or not, because it seems like it doesn't fucking work. Well, it works, but it's not really working.
It does until a certain time.
I'm not saying that it doesn't work for us, but supposedly now, for some people, anyway, supposedly you have to do it now every 6 months. All right, cool. All right,
until
cool.
as they're building it, yeah.
Let's say that it's all part of, they're still searching, whatever, they need more and more cases of people vaccinated in order for them to assess, whatever. Cool, get that.
Yeah, research.
Why do we have to take a PCR test from a pharmacy or some laboratory in order for you to go have a drink outside when you were already able to do those fast PCR tests which supposedly were approved by the what's
Yeah, the EU.
the institution that the of health,
The who?
whatever,
The who?
the WHO.
To me, this is
So that's
so.
not good
Look,
enough. Now you gotta do a fucking vaccine. You
but
gotta do a fucking
to me,
PCR.
you are a good example of what happens when governments don't know what they're doing. People start diving slowly into finding their own answers because you are not able to bring them right answers or to do rules that make sense. And then everybody will do their own rules that they try, and everybody wants to, like, you have to not forget something. The people who are in governments are humans, and they are, as everybody else, they can fail. They can do stupid shit.
But they've been failing, all of them.
Yeah, yes. And from a country to another, there's so many people trying different stuff.
Be accountability, man.
It's called voting. And the problem is this, like, to me, I believe that, yes, people should be held accountable. People did a lot of mistakes. And to me, the worst mistake that they did is making people believe that they know exactly what they were doing and that the information that they had was spot on when it was not. At a point, you have to be transparent and honest with the people. When you say, we don't know, you say we don't know. When you say we're trying this, you have to say we're trying, so that people trust you. The problem is a lot of the people were already mistrusting their governments because of a lot of things, a lot of corruption, a lot of different things that have nothing to do with this. And this just came and shattered more something that was a relationship with government that was already strange. And a lot of these governments, the measures they take, they seem authoritarian. And it shows a lot of the contradiction that a lot of these people have. They wanna. Some people, they feel that, and it's the frustration of being locked and not being able to do your work again, and thinking, damn, I just spent a whole year not being able to make money, and those people might give me another year of this. And some people, it pisses them off, and it's normal.
But it doesn't just piss them off, man. Some people are killing themselves. Some people are losing their livelihoods.
I do agree.
Some people are losing houses.
Yeah.
Yo, man, it's like, dude, like, they don't think, man. And it's and you and I we can't go too deep, unfortunately, because of. But we know how some of these conversations take place, man. And you should hear the way this fucker speaks sometimes. It's really like, y'all peasants. That truly is some of the conversations that you will hear at some levels, because you know what? We got the money, we got the facilities and the ability to, do whatever we need to do if shit hits the fan. But guess what, motherfucker? You're not Richard Branson rich to get to fucking Mars or to the moon. So if shit hits the fan here, you're stuck with us all here. Or you might live in a bunker down in the floor. But you're still gonna have to come out at some point. So shit is fucked.
What is very interesting is what you are saying. You are talking like if every country was doing the same thing. And I believe that you are more talking about the measures here in Portugal.
I'm talking about measures not only in Portugal, but I think overall in Europe, specifically, and obviously not everywhere in Europe, but and some of these measures make sense. I understand that. Like Germany, for example,
and a lot
none
of them
them
don't
want to take vaccines. So it's like, dude, at a certain point, you gotta expect your population to be a bit,
Where?
Experience. Germany.
Oh, okay.
Because none of them want to take vaccines. So, bro, at some point, y'all can talk, but like if y'all starting to, go to the hospital and some people start dying like flies, you can't say that it's the vaccine because y'all didn't take the vaccine, so something is killing y'all. So what is it? And that's the unfortunate part. It's like, as you were saying, the people who are like, fuck the government. They also are sending us the wrong message, because it's like, dude, I'm not saying the vaccine is the end all be all, but like it does indeed help people not die. Like yourself, myself, we've been in an environment where there surely was serious COVID mixtures and cocktails.
I mean, we don't know.
Out of that without much issues.
We don't know. But look, to me, from a country to another, it's interesting to look at. I try to always look at it from be a little higher than the milli, and seeing, okay, what has been done in France, what has been done in Portugal, what has been done in Italy, what has been done in the UK. For example, in the UK, Boris said, you know what, everybody's free, do what you want, and everybody assumed themselves. It's a choice. It's a political choice. In France, they came out of Gilets jaunes. They came out of all these crises, and they are actually traumatized as a government, and they're scared of people rebelling again, and they prefer taking measures so that it doesn't get worse and they have to take worse measure. In Portugal, they were the best in the class for a long time, and they were not touched from the first wave. Wait. They were not touched by the first wave, if you remember. And after not being touched, wait a minute, after being not touched by the first wave, all of a sudden, when they open the gates again of UK tourists,
yes,
they get the UK variant, and all of a sudden case explode, and all of a sudden they have to take measures. And
when
then
in the first place, the UK closed the door to them and said Portuguese cannot go. Oh, but no, y'all, when you guys come, it's okay. Come on, man, like.
But wait, you have to think of something. This country lives from these people coming. This is how they make money. So wait, so now, so when they have to leave the whole quarantine and they come back from it, after being the first in class, every country were like, aha, look at Portugal now. All the media from France, I remember, it was like, aha.
Of course, they were excited.
Yeah.
They were happy.
You see, they were like, ha ha ha. Well, first in class, huh? So now they're back to being first in class by being the country with the most vaccinations and etc. And they want to stay there. But go to Italy.
I understand.
But go to Italy, where people were dying in their home. Remember? You remember 2 years ago when you had this actor with his sister in the bed dying, nobody helping, etc., etc. This has traumatized some people, and a lot of people will do anything not to go back there. And as either as government and as people, everybody will have different reactions. Some people will say, please close the borders, and some people will say, please close the clubs, because they don't want to go back there. And us, we live from the clubs, we live from that, and we're going to be the collaterals. What you say?
Sorry to cut, but okay, there's two things I want to address in what you said, which in my opinion, I think we have to clarify. You talk about Gilets jaunes and how it traumatized people. Why did the Gilets jaunes appear in the first place? What was the reason for this? Thank you. This is the thing. They keep creating new taxes. People are getting poorer and poorer.
That's France.
But it's not just France. Even here in Portugal, for example, they're raising the price of gas, of petrol. Oh no, it's because of the OPEC. Okay, cool. Y'all, and I understand. You had 2 years where there was no plane in the air or barely any. There was this, there was that. Y'all gotta start making a little bit money. So you're trying to stack up.
These people want to make money. Trust me.
I understand.
They don't care about us.
Against your desire to make the money. My point is,
but don't abuse.
Don't fucking abuse. But
I agree with you.
The problem is that people are too fucking weak. And to be honest with you, me, I'm a partisan of a little bit of of chaos sometimes, because I feel like chaos that brings back the clock to zero. And it's like, I do feel like even though there was a lot of exaggeration, there was a lot of things that were that was indeed completely taken out of control, taken to the next level, and it became out of control with this whole relation, situation. It was necessary to wake some people up, but unfortunately, people forget. For every action, there's a reaction. So the government is going to double down on measures that are going to make sure that your liberties are restricted even more. Here in Portugal, people are more compliant. People are happy to say, okay, you know what? Let's do what we got to do. We want to protect our elders and our families. Why are you going to... Dude, my only thing is this, right? Cool. As an adult, I have to take the vaccine. I have no proof, since clearly it is showing that, okay, we still are figuring this shit out. Why do now you wanna say, okay, it's clubs, cool. Clubs help spread the disease, the variant, because supposedly, I guess, and you'll hear politicians saying, well, because the youth go to the club, then they go see their grandparents, and it's like, it's true, it has happened. Some people killed their families by going out to rave.
Yeah.
We saw that, and we heard that, and it was very unfortunate. It happened.
But it's not
in
all
this
of them.
country, Portugal, I think 99 point, I don't know how many percent of the elderly population has been vaccinated.
Yeah. And
they all got
87%
the
of the population. 87% of the population.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
I'll get that. I understand that. Okay, you want to
We're
close
actually
the
in a
clubs,
great place.
4 months, close it. Fair enough. But what are you giving in a counterpart for the people that are, because at the end of the day, all these
Impacted.
people that you're closing and you're impacting pay their taxes. We all paying taxes. So at some point, what are we supposed to do? Because
That's why
y'all fucking people's lives.
that's why the US being able to have their print their own currency, they just said, fuck it, we'll print $2 billion and we'll give $2,000 to every American every month. And a lot of people, that's why they were like, you know what, I'm home but I'm paid. Here the problem is, not only when they cut you from their job, they don't pay you for that, and they don't help you, and they cannot print money because it's the euro. And if one country says, hey, you know what, we're gonna do a cryptocurrency, we're gonna bring back the digital pesos, and we're gonna give it to Portuguese people, and with that they can go to different places and they can use that cryptocurrency to either invest in it or buy things in different places from their wallet, and everybody will get the equivalent of 1,500 euros in pesos, in digital pesos, and until we open again. And people will be like, in this case, okay. But if they do that, the France will come and say, what you mean? Hey, you part of the Eurozone, da. No, I don't agree that.
Yeah, but the French always do that shit, man. They want to be the
Yeah.
ones who, and then they
So-
want to fuck people up with their own dumbass measures. Like, come on,
So
man.
you see, it's because you're part of the Europe, you cannot just do what you want. You have to be inside of Europe. And look, the fact that Switzerland is closing their borders, and some of the
Man, you can
countries
do
in
what you
Europe,
want, man. It's
a
just
lot
a
of
country.
people are saying,
Germany did what they wanted with Russia. They still made deals happen. You saw
Yeah.
French open their mouths too much. They shut the fuck up because they know Germany's gonna slap
But-
down the wrist.
but you say a lot of countries are now saying, oh shit, there's a new variant, like, and they don't know, they don't care, they just close, right? But this variant is already everywhere. This is what people don't understand. It's already everywhere. But everybody's trying to do things so the headlines make the people not go crazy. But a lot of people are pissed because look, some people were Algeria, they just closed their border with France.
Morocco closed their borders with Portugal last week on Thursday.
So now nobody can go in holiday. They were supposed to go on holiday. They haven't seen their parents for 2 years. and they were about to travel tomorrow, and boom, it's over. Listen, as we speaking, in 10 hours, I'm departing to Istanbul. So as you're seeing this, I'm in Istanbul. Then I'm going to Congo. When I arrive in Kinshasa, if Portugal closed their borders, I stay in Kinshasa?
You can still take a private jet and come through. You know it works.
I'm not rich like you. But you see...
But brother, this is the thing, okay?
But did you see
the map?
It's very...
Did you see the Portuguese? That's one thing about Portuguese. The investigations are really great. Did you see that they were saying that during the COVID period, there was the most activity in the air ever registered was private jets. So people were traveling.
Of course.
So there's what you hear
people
on
who
TV,
can.
there's what you hear on the news, and there's a reality. Which obviously I know these measures because the truth is that these measures all sound fucking scary, but the truth is that, man, they let people do what they gotta do. Obviously. So
okay, but are you pissed at the measures of Europe or the ones of Portugal? Because this is where you live.
It's the overall incoherence of what's going on. And I know every country is entitled to handle the situation.
What did they say
they see fit
to piss you off? Like, is it...
No,
because for me, what the measure that I saw, maybe it changed, right? Was we're going to close the clubs and the bars from 1st of January until the 9th or the 10th of January. That's what they said. Just for 10 days.
How is that making any sense? Why do
I
you
believe
close it in
that
January when you can close it now? So does COVID only comes out around that time? That's my question.
But I believe that for now, let me preface by saying something. I believe that Portugal handled the situation well in terms
remarkably well. Yes, we agree on that. No problem.
Okay. Because in second quarantine, we didn't feel... I could not go to your house, right? Because you are on another concelho. But I could leave my house. I could go to my sister-in-law. We had liberty of movement inside of zones. So they did like Spain. They said, okay, listen. You and your 500,000 people, you can stay together. And you cannot go to another city. You can not go to another. Okay. And then they gave like the bars and all these places a certain time where they could be open. And they said clubs, no. And they would do it every time there was like a little spike, and then it would go back down. And the fact that they didn't say we're going back to quarantine. They didn't say we're going to close the club for a year. And I understand. The spectre of these coming back, and that we cannot travel and we cannot make money anymore again, if you just thought we're just getting out of it, you're not gonna put us back in it. I completely understand how people could be already up in arms about it. And at the same time, I don't know exactly we heard what were just the first news about the Omicron variant. But I'm waiting to see what Pfizer says, what Moderna says, what they say. Like when Delta arrived, everybody was already and then they came and they say, calm down, we've been testing and I think we can handle this one. So we don't know yet, but everybody's already being proactive, and we might in a week, we don't know, but we might in a week hear them say, well, listen, we tweaked a little bit our things, take these pills and you're fine, or the booster shots will be tweaked so that they work like flu every year with this new version. We already have the data. The AIs have been working on it. We created a version of the booster shot that protects you from this one, and maybe in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or maybe by January we'll be fine, especially in a country where all of us are vaccinated. Like, it's 10 million people in Portugal and 9 million are fully vaccinated. So it might just be, guys, go to any pharmacy, get a booster shot. Or maybe he's gonna be like, listen, we seem to be fine. Because for now, it's just headlines and people reacting to headlines on one side, and politicians taking measures reacting to headlines, closing their borders because everybody's scared of fucking the economies again. And at the same time, by closing, you're also fucking the economy. So it's a situation where it's lose-lose. It's like talking with your ex. There's nothing you can do.
Answering your question, what is bothering me?
Yeah.
Incoherence is bothering me.
Oh, yeah, listen. Welcome to the world.
And I'm not a politician. I've never led a country. But thankfully because of the environment we
you would
grew
be a
up
dictator.
Huh?
You would be a dictator.
I wouldn't be against. I wouldn't be against not dictatorship, because I don't believe it works. But at a certain point,
a benevolent king.
Not necessarily, but for certain things, like certain things don't make goddamn sense. And I understand those leaders are trying to do their best, but the fucking problem that I have with their approach is that, what are the solutions you're providing to those? It's my only thing. Cool. Take all the measures we need in order to protect, the interest of the greater good. But what are you putting in place? Not 200 euros help for people. What are you technically putting in place? Because they were supposed to receive this big envelope, right? Portugal was supposed to receive this big envelope for the European Union, from the European Union, to help, boost the economy or whatever it is that it was supposed to. And you saw all the scandals from Portuguese media already unveiling corruption in the Socialist Party, etc., 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 which is happening everywhere.
This is Africa.
Right? Of course, but it's Africa every fucking where, because now everybody realizes that, it's not just the Africans now. Shit, us in Europe, shit, we know we're perfect. And a lot of the corruption is appearing to be very much clear. And it's like, all right, cool, as usual, let's clear it up a little bit, but do some fake.
This episode will be demonetized.
Again, you can eat all the money in the world you want, but at a certain point, you cannot be the only one eating, because you know what? People are gonna come and fuck you up. And so make sure your people survive. People don't fucking die of, like, bro. There was a story we heard recently. I was like, yo, man, people out of stress. Do you know the trauma of that shit, man? The simple idea, people who don't have mental strength committing suicide just with the idea that they will have to close again. A store, like the restaurant, the guy has this restaurant, closed it for about 2 years, on and off, and then had to close again. Now, right when things were starting to pick back up again, fear, stress, still in debt, boom, the dude kills himself. It's like, dude, like, okay, it's one human life. What does it mean for when there's 10 million people in your country? Means a lot. But dude, it's a lot, man. It's like, it should not happen where people find themselves in a situation. And it's not just here, even in Belgium, even in France. Like, look at the people
with families.
In a restaurant business, like, for example, the companies who are providing restaurants with, like, serviettes and towels and stuff like that, or soaps, the guys that work for these companies cannot work, because you know what? Well, guys, and we're gonna have to cut. So all of a sudden, you have 3 kids, a family, this and that and the other. You were making decent money as a member of this company. As an employee of this company, and then all of a sudden they're cutting. Okay, cool. Now you gotta see unemployment. How much money are you gonna be able to make? Oh shit. Well, unfortunately, you didn't. They then you find out that, oh shit, I was making 3K a month and I'm barely making 1,000 or maybe 1,200. How am I going to pay my mortgage, food, electricity? Like, and it's wintertime, and these dumb fucks pretend that, oh well, we're not gonna cover you, but they are gonna come for you after starting. The moment we're out of winter, they're gonna come after you, and you better have the money ready. And it's like, dude, come on, man. I remember it happened to me with the water. I was paying the water, etc. There was some shit that happened in my garden. I think there was some breach in. Anyway, there was a lot of water that came out. Whatever, shit happens. I remember I had to pay that amount. It was a rather expensive bill actually, but they were gonna cut the water if I didn't pay, and I kept on telling them it was not my responsibility because it was on the streets. Didn't fucking matter. I had to pay for it. You know what? I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna pay for it. But I could have used that money for something else. So it's like, and again, we are fortunate because we have managed to find ways to make a living and survive and be okay.
Yeah, please donate.
Please donate indeed. Support the show. We keep saying that. Support the show. Support Club Shada. Support the Quarantine Grooves. Go to my channel. Do the duo as well. Make sure you subscribe and show some love, because this is the thing. It's like, if we were not the way we are, resilient the way we are, and there's very few people like us, unfortunately, who have this capacity to like think fast and okay, what am I supposed to do? Man, I just and I know we know not everybody can survive this, not everybody will able to come out of this, because again, as you said, we don't know, right? We don't know what if we're gonna close. All we can clearly see is that shit is hitting the fan. People are panicking. Again. And that's the worst thing you can do as a country, is to create a system and a movement of panic, which you cannot control. Because, well, you controlled it by actually provoking it. Now it's coming out of hand soon enough. That's what I fear. But I'm all good, man. For me, you can close everything, but just help people out.
And some people are saying, so I was listening to this debate, and one person was saying, hey, listen, you have to understand the people who don't want to get vaccinated. Some of them are scared, some of them this, some of them they don't trust the government for real reasons. For example, in Martinique and Guadeloupe, where people are revolting right now, there's the scandal of the phreatic nap of water contaminated by chlorine of whatever the name of sorry, I forgot the name. And this has been something that has been covered up by the French government for 50 years. And how you want these people to trust you when you treat them like second zone citizen, and you act like if it's still a colony and you are the slave masters. Of course, people will not trust you when you tell them, hey, listen, quarantine and go get the shot. So from a place to another, you have to take account everybody's and their story and why they believe this or why they believe that. And then you have to find the right course of action, and maybe something that all these governments are doing really bad in this world of social media is teaching people, and I know it's hard these days. If you say anything that doesn't go in the way of what people think, they will just insult you, and they don't even want to know. Some subject, I just stopped having those conversations. I stopped having any conversation with somebody who doesn't want to get vaccinated because he's not even.
And they're like super aggressive. It's like on both sides of the board. It's like, dude, why?
Yeah. And like, look, when you're just trying to have a conversation with somebody,
the pill is gonna be worse than the vaccine. Oh my god.
Yeah, like when you have those conversations, when people, they don't care about listening to you. They just want to repeat what they read on WhatsApp, on the internet, or whatever site they read, and whatever you tell them, they have an answer. And when they start contradicting themselves and you point it to them, it doesn't matter. And you realize that some conversations, you cannot have them anymore. With a lot of groups, a lot of minority groups, a lot of people who believe something, all they want is to talk with people who believe the same as them, and anybody who doesn't go in is sold to the system. And at a point, you just want to tell people, listen, I'm more an ally, I'm more somebody who's just having a conversation with you, and I'm not trying to convince you. You actually do what you want. But they don't care. You tell them, listen, I know some people that were against the vaccine. Some people that I really liked, and they're dead now. And they don't care. They explain that, oh, me, I'm healthy, me, I'm this. And I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just having a conversation. But they want to convince you that whatever they believe is right, that the government is this, that, and it's just like a whole worldwide conspiracy. All this is like... And the problem is this, like, as a government, you have to find a way to continue letting people have the freedom to do what they want, but at the same time to teach them what you're doing and why you're doing it. And interestingly, in the radio, when that girl said that, she said exactly what I just said. The host of the show replied, we've been teaching people forever and they still don't want to take the vaccine. So fuck them. If they want to take the vaccine. And I was like, what's wrong with these people? Yeah, but in Martinique, this is, we're in Martinique. We are sending them money all the time. And I was like, yo, he's speaking like a colon. And it was just explaining like, what if we stop sending money there? What they're gonna do? Yeah, in this case, you don't want to take the vaccine, then you cannot go to the hospital. Then I was like, the hysteria is habiting everybody. Everybody's just hysteric with this whole situation. And listen, I would not want to rule, to be a government in that type of situation where people are just so in an antagonism for anything that whatever you do, some people will be pissed off and some people will say it's not enough.
Yeah, but the problem is because there's lack of transparency. We've given these people, as you said earlier, they work for us, but they have been given so much power. And it's like, I like the example of the lion and the master, at a circus. That motherfucker is playing with a big ass lion. That lion can fuck you up.
Oh yeah,
literally.
And I've seen some people
pop your head up,
getting fucked up.
Head off, yeah, exactly. Pop your head off real quick. Now,
don't ask me why I'm doing this.
And we are being like, no, come on. The moment, and this is the thing, individuality is to be controlled and repressed at all costs, because collectivity is what allows a lot of things to pass. Because if you with your individual mind, you're able to like look at some incoherence and be like, no, but can you please give me a correct answer to this, because this does not make sense to me. Not saying that you're saying, no, the vaccine or COVID doesn't exist. This is not even the conversation, because we all know the fucking thing exists. We've gotten it, we almost died from it. Cool. That's not the conversation, where the conversation is at. It's like, explain to me why y'all want to fuel your populations with informations that end up being, and you're not giving voices enough, like access to, for example, what was the name of this French, comment il s'appelle, le gars de Marseille, le vieux là? Raoult. Okay, Raoult said one thing. They made it. They put words in his mouth, whatever. Then they had this other specialist who was an anti-Raoult, who would say the complete opposite. And then there was, but then you hear stories, and you hear stories not only from one, not only from two, not only from three, but like from a bunch of different people who come from completely different backgrounds, telling you about like, a couple of scientists that were completely shut down, who had complete opposite vision on how, not opposite, but they had different approaches to how the whole COVID patient could be treated. They were saying that ivermectin, for example, they were talking about different sorts of approach. And a guy like Joe Rogan, for example, he used his platform to speak on that. And then
CNN was against
remember
him.
when he invited the
Gupta.
guy of CNN.
Yeah.
And he said y'all made it sound like I
Was lying.
Was lying.
Was taking
when
horse
actually-
dewormer. You were lying.
Exactly. So you see, it's like that's where distrust happened, because the media you're supposed to trust are feeding you a mix of truth,
Propaganda.
and a mix of propaganda. And it's like,
But
and you expect people to trust you. Even me, as a sensible person that I am, I'm like, dude, I'm starting to really wonder, man.
But you know what the problem is? In this world that is completely interconnected,
Yeah.
and this world where we see Joe Rogan proving that CNN is just a propaganda machine for the left and the progressists. And it's just dependent to Fox News. This is something that has to do with the Americans and how their fucked up politics work, and how it's a completely divided country. But we use it as examples for us. Even if some of our medias, they start to look the same, this is still something that happens 10 kilometers away. But as we see it, it fuels our desire for these conspiracies, because it happens there. And at the same time, this is what I was saying about the humanity of the people who are leading, and how they are flawed as everybody else. When you have Raoult that is starting to just become like a hero in France to a lot of people, you have some people that are just pissed off. And you have people, they have personal, like our Minister of Health in France, have personal vendetta with the person. You have like bedtime stories and fuck stories between those people. Oh, you took my wife, whatever. And all this, they cannot put it aside for the good of everybody. Why? Because they're just humans. To give you listen, in 2003, when I arrived with my concept of how a Zouk album should be done at Section Zouk, nobody cared. Because I came, one Congolese guy, and my artist was a Moroccan girl. And we were about to do a Zouk album. So everybody said to themselves, who cares? Like, okay, it's Kaysha, but this thing will not work. Or it will, whatever. They're gonna do their little shit. And for us, it's gonna be business as always.
Usual.
But we did an album that was so revolutionary with the first album of Asumia, that Princess Lover, Fanny G, Kim, all of them, they are still using the blueprint that we created when they do their album. A little bit of Zouk, a little bit of Kizomba, a little bit of Kompa, a little bit of Afro. That was the concept that I brought there, right? And when I did that, once we sold 30,000 copies independent, which was huge for that market, everybody that was coming to the studio and listening to what we were doing, they were like, I remember one guy who was there. He was like, it's quite interesting what you're doing. I don't know if it's gonna work, because you are trying to eating everywhere and you are serving all these markets, but we'll see. And I replied to him, yeah, we'll see. And then I saw him again when the album was at 10,000 copies sold. And I was like, I guess it's working. But I was talking to him like I would talk to you when I show you my numbers, when I show you my sales, and you show me yours, and we're like, yo, I hear you. Interesting, we talking about strategies. So I come to him like with, hey, bro, I think that strategy might be working. And the guy is different now. He's like, yeah, I guess. And all of a sudden I feel cold. I'm like, what's this cold wind that I feel in my bones? And the third time that I hear about him, it's him and my friends, Aliangel, Nikos, all of them conspiring against me, saying, hey, this guy has too much power. We have to destroy him. And I was shocked. I actually told Nikos and Ali, I said, guys, we don't need to be enemies. We in the same house. You should do everything I did because there's space for everybody. But you see how it's not because you are at the government that those little petty ego and even worse, listen, if you are in the government and you have an envelope of 100 million that you have to distribute to different places and to decide what goes where, and you have the power to make laws and all these things, you might be like taking your things seriously and being like, let me do good for my country. Or you can be corrupted just by the power you have. And you can start feeling like, je suis un ministre. I'm a secretary of state. I'm this, I'm that. And it can turn you into what you were not just before. And then some doctor come and says something and it pisses you off because everybody's listening to him when you want people to listen to you. And instead of continue being professional, because you hate that person from 30 years ago when he fucked your girl, it start getting into politics because they're all human and they all can be jealous, they can all be petty, and they can then take decisions that are stupid. And what we're gonna do? It is what it is. And
but then
our
these
goal
people need to be booted the fuck out because they don't
of course
deserve to hold the
completely
that they sit on.
Yeah, but look what's happening to Raoult. A lot of people are trying to take him down. A lot of the doctors are trying to take him down. Because he's a piece of sand in the system. Mm-hmm. And listen, this is where it's complicated because in France now and in a lot of countries, people want to have that what we call la pensée unique, which is a thought that everybody must have, which is this is right. Everything else is evil or bad or wrong or conspiracy. And those people hate having anybody say something that doesn't go in the way that they want. And I guess we'll see. We said 45 minutes, 1 hour.
Yeah, but it's almost coming to on my end. I have to be up early, but
me too.
Yeah, we need to talk. And even you have to catch a flight even more than. But before we like Virgil Abloh, man, I couldn't sleep Sunday night after finding out about the news. I mean, we were having that meeting together.
We were together when we learned.
We
also were together when we learned for Jacob.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
true. On the phone. And
Boddhi hit me up. Okay. So So we were in the meeting, but he hit me up the second time. I'm like, okay, let me call him once we're done, because it's unusual that Boddhi insists so much. So then when we come out, and in the meantime, Olive sends me a message, said, "Oh my God, no." I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I look, Virgil Abloh dead. What? Man. Yeah. Oh. It's sad, man. It's really sad.
It is.
That guy really was the Steve Jobs of fashion, and just such a fucking brilliant mind, man, and very genuine as well. Like we had a couple of interactions, him and I on Instagram. He was talking more to Boddhi than me, but nonetheless, he was just such a cool and very responsive dude.
Yeah.
We lost a big one, man.
We did. I wonder how Kanye feels.
Yeah, because on his last Drink Champ, wasn't it low key throwing against some little shade at him?
I'm telling you, that Drink Champ interview, watch it a second time.
I will.
The first time it's like, wow, it's amazing. The second time it kind of pissed me off a little bit. Pissed me off is too much. It kind of annoyed me that everybody is kind of praising him for being in the free spirit, etc. But a lot of the things that he said, if anybody else would have said those things, people would have been pissed, and it would have created drama, etc. And I interestingly, I think he was talking about how much he has too much.
Yeah.
And went like, I mean, listen, I believe that he wanted to be where Virgil was.
No, that's for sure. And he said it. He said, I should have been there. I should have had that deal.
Yeah, I think he feels like
I was in the office when the first time we met the guys of VMH. I remember.
Yeah, I think he believes in his head that it should have been him, because he's the be all and all. And yeah, listen, after doing that interview, the guy transitions. Now it's you and you.
How do you feel about yourself after talking shit about? Because Virgil never, I mean, at least publicly, he never spoke shit about Kanye.
Exactly.
And like he was minding his own business. It's like, dude, like, you know, and then you're gonna, and then you saw, and then it's very weird because then, but I guess, I don't know, man, but yeah, to see the amount of tributes and love, it really felt like a Kobe or the Black
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And it's the same way. He was suffering in silence as well.
Man, so much courage it takes to not speak about this shit, man. And to know that your days are counted too. Too much, man. Yeah. Definitely condolences to his family and loved ones. You know?
Yeah, really, like prayers to everybody, and que la terre te soit légère. And it's those things where like it's been so many people these last 2 years that
it makes you numb.
It makes you numb, and it wakes up my anxiety now.
Yo, I had an anxiety attack earlier. I was thinking about that, and I was like,
because I see myself. And listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Even if we are here debating about the Omicron and all that stuff and whatever, every time I came back from a party, and I think I've probably been to 4 clubs this whole year. But every time I came back to a crowded place, I had anxiety attacks like just after. But I was forcing myself to not become a hermit and not become a monk. Just, But yo,
I know. I
like
take a shower after every time I come back from any. I need to wash.
yeah, like, and when I'm thinking about the Omicron thing, I see myself on my bed, not being able to raise more than a hand, and being just so tired. I remember one day, I called you the whole day, and you were at. I was at home with my wife, and she was taking care of me, but you were alone.
Okay.
And I remember that day I called you a lot. I called you from 10 a.m. I was calling you every day to like report, like knowing how do you feel, and knowing that I was with my family, but you were alone. So I would call you to see, like, I remember at some point you were depressed, at some point you were very angry. So I was calling you all the time to make sure that, you had you had somebody to talk to and etc. But I remember that day, like, you didn't reply from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. And I got scared because I could not even take a car. Listen, I could not even take a car to go see you, because not only I was on quarantine myself, I was on quarantine, I was sick, and there were borders that we could not cross to go to your city.
Okay.
It's like 30 minutes apart for people who don't know. And all these moments, when I'm like, I see that, they found a new variant and whatever, I think about all these moments, and I'm like, okay, another quarantine, I think I can do this. I don't know if my family is able to go through another one without
losing their
I think we're fine. We here, we have a daughter. I think we can do it. We're very fortunate that our rent is paid for the year. But I don't know if I could get sick again and have the mental energy to go through it again.
No, you can.
And my body might even, after having it, like, being in my body 2 times, one time as the COVID and the second time as a vaccine, my body might know how to defend itself. And listen, I have all the Raoul protocol. I got everything here. I'm ready. Like, I have my hydroxychloroquine. I have all my stuff. But you have this thing where, like, it's not the
vitamins. I have my sarsaparilla. I have my burdock roots.
Where's my red?
Vitamin D. I'm about to get my NAC.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about what anyone has to say. That's my life. I'm making sure I'm taking all the vitamins. I'm drinking water every day.
Zinc.
Yeah, I was having some apple juice earlier, but whatever. Man,
So
fuck that shit.
But it's this thing where it is such a traumatic experience to go there. So it's not a thing where I'm like, oh, I can't make it. Like, you get sick, you work on it. Like, listen, we got sick and we survived without going to the hospital. So we can survive again, right? As long as it's not worse for us.
No.
But what I'm and listen, we're vaccinated, so some people even with the vaccine. But hey, listen, I still have this thing where I'm like, it's not like, do I survive if I get it again? It's more, I don't want to get it again. I don't want to. Like,
it's funny. I don't even think in those terms personally, because for me, I'm
wait, I forgot to say.
Huh?
So listen, I was here. Sorry, it's the voice of corruption. I was here, getting scared for my guy. I was like, is my friend dead?
I had the same when you also disappeared. You went here all on me, like that whole day when you were like conversing. I mean, you were like,
yeah, but you could talk to my wife.
Did I even talk to her? I can't remember.
I don't know, but you could call her. But most people called her. Nelson was calling her every 10 minutes. Benguela.
No, I didn't call her.
So listen, I was scared for my friend. I was like, he brought the rings to my wedding. Is he gone?
It's brilliant.
Are we gonna find him on his sofa with his dog? With his dog eating his balls.
I didn't have my dog at home too. I was literally alone, man.
So are we gonna find him in his sofa? Just there. In underwear and t-shirt, looking like shit. And I was like, oh my God. And I was telling my wife, listen, I don't care. I'm gonna take a Uber because I think I was a little better before you, I think.
No, you got better way before me. Because you remember I was sick for another 2 weeks after you. Because
so I was like,
digestive system.
Yeah, but then me, I had like a whole month of quarantine. But I was like, I was telling my wife, I don't care. I'm gonna take a Uber and brave everything and go. And if police stop me, I will say, listen, my friend has COVID. He hasn't replied. I'm scared. Please come with me. Help. Lila didn't know. He was getting his ball sucked by a girl. Goodbye monetization.
This guy, man. Actually, that's not true. I didn't get no at that moment.
What's the name of the
Palula, mama, palula.
Palula, mama, palula.
Palula. It's not true, actually. After that, yes. But at that moment, no. Come on, man. So my dick was gonna get. Well, man, I was fighting for my life. Nah, man. It was tough, man. Shit. Yeah, that day.
It was tough.
There was no way I could even speak. Yeah. But anyway, all that took.
I think you called me around 5.
Yeah.
You finally called me around 5, and I was like, Dad, where were you?
Agonizing. The pain was horrible, man. You know what I think one of the worst thing, besides, was the heart failure situation. That was fucked up. But like the most fucked up part was the vomiting and the pain, man. My belly pain for a whole month. I mean, yeah, almost a month.
It hurts.
2.5 weeks. I swear, man, that shit was horrible, yo. And it was this very vicious pain in my stomach. Hey.
That was me coming back from Senegal.
Huh?
That was me coming back from Senegal.
Dude, you just need to shit yourself, man. Your body's not used to the food. You're like,
listen. Trust me. You know what I just bought? I just bought some Zeltan or whatever the name is. The vermifuge. I just bought that one pill that I'm gonna take by maybe 4 days after I'm in Congo, and I got my pro or something. Now I got all my medicine. I'm gonna just take them. I'm just gonna take them and make sure that it replaces it makes sure my intestines are fine. Cause I'm not gonna eat anything. Cause I remember like in Kinshasa, that's when I tried poulet mayo. I got fucked. And in Senegal is all the mafé and like the great, like it tastes good.
No. It's that restaurant we went out that afternoon on Friday.
Yeah.
Friday afternoon is the restaurant we went out.
Yeah. The dark place.
The food was really not well done. It was, and it fucked us up big time.
Yeah. But listen, it was also that same kind of restaurant. Like, it really looked the same out there in Kinshasa. I'm not gonna say the name. I actually the next day they closed. Actually, the next day they closed. But yeah, I'm not gonna disclose their name. But same thing. The next day, it was a nightmare. Like, and yeah, like I mean, now I'm just gonna travel with my medicine and just make sure that
Man, all I'm saying is that I pray that I don't ever have to shit myself on a plane again, ever. Like it happened to me on my way back from Mozambique, man. 16 hours on a plane. Ah, man. And I thank God, because I travel with my carry-on with me, so I had all my toiletry bag, all my perfume, everything. Man, nah. That experience, man. The pain, shitting yourself on a plane, not even shitting yourself. You fucking man. It was, and the look of disgust from the. Well, actually, I left the toilet cleaner than they were when I came in, because obviously you don't want no smell. So I was spray like this fucking the bomb, whatever, like, because you're like, first of all, I don't fucking
there was a
shit in
line when you came out.
places. Huh?
There was a line when you came out.
No, there was no line because I was. It happened when people were sleeping,
Okay, but
And
still
it's
there was
like-
somebody waiting.
But even until the arrival, I think as we were arriving, I had to hit the toilet again. And same thing, like I went in, boom, and I made sure that everything was super fucking clean because there's all the lingette, the baby wipes and the whole this thing. I was like, yo, man. And this fucking
Yeah,
guy
we
was looking
come
at me
prepared.
like I had committed the most horrible fucking crime. And I looked at him and said, fuck you, man. I cleaned this place. This toilet was cleaner when I left it than when I came in. Anyway, but it was a horrible experience. Like this is belly shit, man.
Yeah, no, like any pain in a plane, and knowing that, especially you have like a 10-hour flight, and it's like, because when I start getting sick, Senegal, it was a 3-hour and 30 flight. So
Yeah, even your belly, man. Your belly was swollen up.
yeah, it was horrible, and like
And that's why even now I've learned not to eat too much before flight, just a little bit, and travel empty belly is better.
And interestingly, when you are like, if we do videos again, and usually when I do videos, photo session, I try to just not eat before. I try to eat after working, because you can see it like even in the video when I was watching, there's a lot of part where like the belly's swollen and like it's not like you can put it in. Like, there's nothing you can do because of all the
signe d'abondance.
Signe de richesse, signe extérieur de richesse.
Mon cher, no man, the vibe of the video, we were all swollen up. I mean, look at me. There's a part of the video when we are dancing. You can see my belly. Yo, we were the food. I mean,
Listen,
it was.
But the thing is this, like, after we came back, after vomiting for 4 days and having diarrhea for 4 days, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, wait, I have no belly at all. The worst part is usually it's a lot of gas, a lot of, and you just have to learn how to treat it and so you can actually be less swollen actually. And the problem is when you're doing the video and you don't really realize all that, that's when you look at the image, you really look like we really look.
Even the club
like
shadow that we did, you look against my belly, bro.
All of us. All of us. The
man. That shit
food
was like,
make us look less. Yeah, listen. The food make us all look.
But it was good.
How was the name of
fun.
it?
We had a good time.
Club Shada. Hello, Dakar. Wait. If you look at it, actually, a lot of people were saying it was one of the best Club Shadas.
Nah, man, the vibe was lit.
Yeah, the vibe was lit. My only thing was, I wish I had 4 microphones.
Look at this problem, man. Problem.
Look at this. Oh my God. Swollen as fuck. Like, you see, when people use their back to hide their bellies, and when you're from Lubumbashi, you don't care.
Man, that was bad, man. I'm telling you, it was bad. It was so bad.
It was a great episode. It was really a great episode.
For sure.
People loved it.
How many views?
Thanks again to
I can see.
Novotel. Huh?
How many views does it have?
519, and then most of the extract have 1,000, I think, if I remember well.
Dope.
Yeah, no, that was a dope episode. But I'm gonna start choosing some episode, or I'm thinking about episode or extract, and I'm gonna start promoting them, doing like small YouTube promos to have people discover the show. And because interestingly, a lot of people, it's crazy how I don't know if it's the same for you, but every time I talk about Club Shada to anybody, they talk to me like, yeah. I look at the show, and I'm like, I've never seen you comment, but yeah, they all look at it.
Yeah, because it's not always a reflex, and people don't always know how to, because it's from the phone or whatever. So on TV. So.
But it's interesting the number of people who listen to you, people who like, no, I love the show. You're like, all right, that's cool, that's so good. See, I talk about Club Shada, the Club Shada thing come perfect for the end.
Yeah.
Well, listen, my friend, it was a pleasure.
Very well, my friend.
Yeah.
Bon, de toute façon,
and I guess on ce comment, and we talk again. We talk again tomorrow when I'm in the airport on my way. And listen, just pray for the controllers of the universe that I can come back, because I don't want, like, if they have to close the borders, please close the borders after the 10th when I'm already back home.
I don't want to close the borders, we'll be fine. Ça va aller. Et puis s'il faut que tu reviennes avant, tu reviens avant, mon cher. C'est tout.
Oui. My show is on the 4th. If I can come back before, I'll come back before. All right. Let me put the music.
Shada gang.
Yeah, this is Club Shada, brought to you by shadaware.com. Go follow Boddhi on Instagram, instagram.com/Boddhi Satva. Go twitter.com Ancestral Boddhi, and Quarantine Grooves every Friday, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Lisbon time. 5 p.m.
I can't
Lisbon
even
time.
mention MQT anymore because I haven't done the show properly in a month.
Monday Quality talks when he wants, and these days he goes back to talk on Instagram. I see that Instagram Live is getting back into fashion. I see your little conversation. Sometimes I'm here in the chat. I don't know if you see me, but I was there the last one.
I didn't see you the other day.
I was there. And listen, I should do a Instagram chat one of these days. You should, but you're not uploading them to YouTube afterwards, or?
My problem is that I don't know how to make it so that the background is spread out. Like if Et je vais faire ça. Je vais gérer ça.
You know how to download them?
I was thinking the other day, I was like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna go and do this live. I'm gonna try to do the kind of live. The problem is that the interaction on YouTube is not as fluid as
Instagram.
You have a direct interaction with the people, the public, But anyway,
save it.
Yeah,
just save it without the comments and put them on the YouTube.
Yeah. Bon.
All right, my guy. Wait a minute.
On est ensemble.
Let me put the music up. On est ensemble jusqu'en décembre parce qu'on se ressemble.
Toujours.
Peace.
You're so good.